So today we're going to take a look at subjunctive and noun clauses, which will be on your exam. And this may have caused some confusion or you're still not entirely sure how to use it. So today we are going to take a look at this. So here we have our two basic kinds of sentences in Spanish. The first sentence, this is what we've been working on all along. And these are relatively uncomplex sentences. Tú vas a la fiesta. You go to the party. This is just regular, it's just kind of fact-based sentence, right? It's just describing what happens. And this is in what is called the indicative. Indicative is a verb mood, and that actually includes everything you've learned so far in Spanish, including the present, the pretérito, the imperfecto, the future, conditional. All those are indicative verb tenses. They're just describing things that happen. To make your writing a little more complex, we can actually also use something called the subjunctive. The subjunctive is where you or somebody else is expressing an opinion, a desire, a doubt about something else. So not quite a fact, but it has to do with the subjectivity of whoever is talking. So I'm going to write subjunctive down here, right? How do you know? How do you know if a sentence is subjunctive? Well, it's actually kind of easy. And let me change my pen color here. You're going to know that a sentence is subjunctive if you see a que in that sentence. And the que divides a sentence more or less in two. On one side, you have this, and on the other side, you have this. And these are actually called technical terms, grammatical terms, clauses. So here we have clause one, clause two. You're probably already thinking, well, this clause, this is just the present tense, right? Yo quiero. We know that. That's the present tense. You're correct. So the first clause always goes in the indicative. So that's present, past, future, whatever, right? And then we have a que. And then over here, depending on what the indicative clause says, the subjunctive might be used over on this side, right? So this is important. Subjunctive, well, actually, I'll get to that later, right? And the subjunctive has several categories. And if you can remember these categories, you will do well on this. First of all, value judgments. So this is things where you are making a judgment about something else, that something is good or bad or ridiculous or great or poor or whatever, right? So we have a whole bunch of things here. So if you see this, es importante que, over here, you know that whatever comes after the que has got to be conjugated in the subjunctive. Another one is desires. When you're expressing a desire. So if you see quiero que here, a que, you know that whatever comes afterwards has to be in the subjunctive. Again, you're trying to exert your will onto the second part of that sentence. Another one is recommendations, right? I recommend that. Doesn't mean that the person actually does it, but that's what makes it subjunctive, right? It's not you go to the party, it's I recommend that you go to the party, right? We don't know if the person's actually going to go to the party, but that's a recommendation, and that's what makes it subjunctive. So if you see recomiendo que here, you know that whatever comes afterwards is going to be in that subjunctive. Another one is doubt. If you're expressing a doubt, right? Yo dudo que, you know whatever comes afterwards has got to be in the subjunctive. Now, and with doubt, we get into a little bit of an issue sometimes with certainty, between doubt and certainty. So doubt is always subjunctive if you're expressing doubt. Certainty, let me get my color here, is always indicative, right? And we have to distinguish between those two things. So I'm going to move down here a little bit. So for example, if I were to write, yo dudo que tú saques una A. I doubt that you get an A, right? We have this as setting us up for a subjunctive. It is expressing doubt. So we know that over on this side, after the K, we have to conjugate this verb in the subjunctive tense. However, if I say no dudo que tú sacas una A, Over here, no dudo que expresses certainty, thus whatever comes afterwards is not going to be in the subjunctive. So a few things to remember on this. You can only have subjunctive if you have three parts to the sentence. You need a K in the middle. This part over here, the subjunctive will never come before the K. It always has to go after the K over on this side. And if you can remember those three things, well, more than three things, you'll probably do fine on this. Good luck and thank you for watching.